Hey everyone, welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Jordan, and we're glad you're tuning in.
And I'm Nate. We've got a big policy story to unpack. And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai.
Quick housekeeping. U.S. stock markets were closed on Saturday, April 25th. The last trading day was Friday, April 24th, and markets reopened Monday, April 27th. We're talking about policy headlines that investors were wrestling with heading into the long weekend.
Right, the headline is the federal reclassification of medical cannabis to Schedule 3. That moved the needle on a lot of fronts. Banks, research, enforcement priorities, all of it could shift, at least in theory.
Exactly. And to be clear, rescheduling is meaningful. It can loosen some research barriers and maybe make banking a bit easier, but it does not erase past convictions or automatically grant clemency or expungements for people with old cannabis charges. What I find interesting is how that federal step is colliding with state-level pushback. Missouri, for example, passed a law to pull intoxicating hemp products off shelves starting November 12th. So while the White House takes one direction, some states are tightening rules.
Yeah, that's a good point. That split matters for companies operating in multiple states. National policy progress doesn't mean uniform access on the ground.
And then you have the procedural stuff that keeps timing messy. Virginia's legislature sending a sales bill back to the governor. And in Texas, retailers got a temporary reprieve for smokable hemp sales after court delays extended the status quo through at least April 28th. So for investors watching the sector, and again, this is informational, keep an eye on how federal agencies follow through. Rulemaking, agency guidance, even executive actions on clemency would be the next chapters, not just the announcement itself.
Exactly. And what I find interesting is the company reaction piece. Watch major multi-state operators and sector funds, think Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries, Curaleaf, Tilray Brands, and the big U.S. cannabis ETF, for statements on how they plan to navigate this patchwork.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by how quickly some state lawmakers moved to clamp down on hemp-derived THC products. That creates a real headache for supply chains and retailers in affected states, and it could mute upside even if federal barriers fall.
Right.
Another data point to remember. Canadian retail sales in February declined month over month to 440.5 million Canadian dollars. So demand and seasonality still matter. Policy is only one piece of the growth equation.
Short reactions. Interesting. Makes sense.
Quick checklist of what to watch before markets reopen Monday. Federal rulemaking and agency guidance. Any executive actions on clemency or expungement. Missouri's November 12th implementation timeline, or any accelerated state moves. The outcome of the Texas smokable hemp litigation. And company or ETF statements explaining how they plan to adapt.
And remember, analysts note both opportunity and risk here. Rescheduling changes the federal backdrop, but state-by-state regulatory risk and criminal justice issues remain unresolved. Expect volatility when trading resumes.
Bottom line, big federal step, but an uneven playing field on the ground. Policy progress does not equal instant market clarity.
Key takeaways?
1. Federal rescheduling to Schedule 3 is a major policy development that could ease research and banking hurdles.
2. Several states are tightening rules on hemp-derived THC, and legal timing will vary state by state, creating an uneven market.
3. Watch federal guidance, Missouri's timeline, Texas litigation, and company responses when markets reopen Monday, April 27th.
Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai where you can ask us anything and we'll answer live. And while you're there, check out more market content.
Thanks for listening. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Nate. Catch you Monday.